Hi, this is Rodrigo from LearnEnglishFast, and today we'll learn one of my favorite subjects, idioms. I can promise you this will be a very dynamic class as I have a bunch of expressions to learn, 40 of them to be precise. But before we start our lesson, I ask you to subscribe to my channel by clicking the button below so that we make sure you get all my tips for both grammar and vocabulary from all my videos, alright? So, what's an idiom? An idiom is an expression or a group of words in a fixed order that have a particular meaning that's different from the meanings of each word separately. For example, to bite off more than you can chew. Just imagine a young kid putting 3 sausages in his mouth, or when you try to eat a Disney's turkey leg in one bite. That's huge! So, this idiom means that you're trying to do something which is too hard for you, you know? Now, let's see a more practical approach. Like, Francis decided to take up Greek and German classes at the start of the year, as well as studying medicine at university and working at weekends. I think he's bitten off more than he can chew. Did you get it? Alright, great! Now, idioms can also be divided into many different types. For our today's lesson, I'm going to teach you body idioms. In other words, idioms related to a certain part of your body, such as hand, as in, give me a hand please, like help me please, you know. As far as this lesson is concerned, the 40 idioms I've picked belong from upper intermediate level to maximum proficiency levels of English, C2, right? So, shall we start? First idiom, a hair's breadth, meaning a very small distance or amount. For example, he came within a hair's breadth of setting a new world record, but he got very tired in the last kilometer of the race. Another one. After wandering around the forest for an hour thinking we're lost, it turned out that we're only a hair's breadth away from our campsite. Okay? Now, idiom number 2, bare bones. It's the essential and most elementary parts of something, you know, a general outline or summary, right? For example, one way to be able to afford a car is to buy a bare bones model option as heated seats add a lot to the price, okay? Another one. Please don't go through each line items in the budget. Just give me the bare bones, no? Just give me the ballpark figures, alright? Great. Idiom number 3. Blood's thicker than water. The meaning is family is more important than anything else. So, my uncle will help us. He and I have had some disagreements in the past, but blood is thicker than water. Another example. Can't you give your sister a job at your company? Blood's thicker than water, right? Next example, number 4. Brain drain. That's a departure of very talented, well-educated individuals from a place. A very current example is Venezuela. For example, Venezuela is experiencing a brain drain right now with many professionals leaving for other countries because of bad conditions at home. And I can give another example. The state has some of the nation's best universities, but it suffers from brain drain as graduates often flee to find more lucrative job opportunities elsewhere, right? Now, idiom number 5, to bust a gut, or bust a gut laughing. That basically means to laugh uncontrollably. For example, when Jack showed up at the party in an ancient suit, I thought I was going to bust a gut laughing. Or the kids bust a gut when the clown fell down on stage. That's very funny. Great, idiom number 6. bust someone's chops. This time, I'm going to show you two different meanings for this idiom. The first one is verbally torment somebody. For example, people keep busting my chops over the embarrassing speech I made at the dinner. I wish they'd just forget it. Or a second example of it is to exert a significant amount of energy or work very hard to complete something. For example, I've been busting my chops all night long to get this presentation ready for tomorrow's meeting. You know? Great! Idiom number 7. Don't hold your breath. Basically, don't expect what's under discussion to happen very soon. You know? For example, we'll eventually get raises, but don't hold your breath. Another example. I know you hope Monica comes to the meeting, but don't hold your breath. She hasn't been to one all year. Alright? Example number 8. Elbow grease, which is basically a hard physical effort. For example, painting your house takes some elbow grease. You have to scrape all the paint off first, but it's cheaper than having it done. Or you'll never get that rust off without some elbow grease. Okay? Next example, 40 winks. It basically means a short nap, you know? Short sleep, short nap. So, if you're on a long drive, it's helpful to stop and take 40 winks every few hours if you can. Okay? Or when you have a baby for the first time, you're suddenly forced to learn how to operate on only 40 winks at a time. You know? To sleep from time to time because you cannot sleep 8 hours straight. Okay? Now, number 10. Have one's back against the wall. Basically, have a few choices or be cornered. So, I'm really sorry I had to lay Jason off, but my back was against the wall. If I didn't, the company would have shut down our whole division. I'm so sorry. And she really has her back against the wall now that creditors are coming after her for more money than she makes. Alright? Idiom number 11. Jump down somebody's throat. Basically means strongly attack somebody verbally. So, all we did was suggest that we might want to think about replacing Dawn, and Helen jumped down my throat. Another example. If I even asked her about her day, she jumped down my throat as if I were interrogating her. Right? Great. Now, idiom number 12. Knee-jerk reaction. That's kind of immediate strong reaction to something, a reaction without consideration or thought. For example, when I talk about going out with guys, my dad has a knee-jerk negative reaction. I wish he'd think about it and realize I'm old enough. Not surprisingly, there has been a knee-jerk reaction from many parents to have the book banned from schools. Okay? Great. So, idiom number 13. No-brainer. So the meaning is a decision that's easy to make, a problem that's easy to solve. For example, I like my current job, but the new place is offering me so much money that changing job was a no-brainer. Okay? Or another example, the decision to invest in the energy company was a no-brainer. It was very easy to make a decision because it was worthless changing or investing. Now, idiom number 14. On the blink. Basically means something that's not working, intermittently not working. For example, the computer's on the blink and we have work piling up. Oh, I'm bogged down. Or my TV is on the blink again. It's not working. So, idiom number 15, to pick somebody's brain. Like, to get information from somebody well-informed about a particular topic. For example, could I come by tomorrow? I'd like to pick your brains about selling on eBay. I know you've made a lot of money that way, alright? Or, can I pick your brain about how to get rid of those weeds? So, idiom number 15, to pick somebody's brain. So, that basically means getting information from somebody well-informed about a particular topic. So, could I come by tomorrow? I'd like to pick your brains about selling on eBay. I know you've made a lot of money that way. Or, can I pick your brain about how you got rid of those weeds? Right? Idiom number 16, foot in mouth. So, to put your foot in your mouth means that you say or do something that accidentally embarrasses or offends somebody. Like, I put my foot in my mouth when I called my brother's new wife by his ex-wife's name. Or, I really put my foot in my mouth with Sheldon. I had no idea he was gay. So, next one. Get off my back. We use this expression when somebody is criticizing you or telling what to do all the time. So, stop telling me what to do, get off my back. Or, why don't you get off my back? I'm doing my best. You know? Idiom number 18, cold shoulder. So, to give somebody the cold shoulder means to ignore somebody. So, I saw my ex-girlfriend at a party, but she wouldn't talk to me. She gave me the cold shoulder. Or, my daughter was furious and giving me the cold shoulder. Right? Easy. Now, number 19. Cold feet. Basically means to get nervous and have second thoughts about doing something. Like, I'm getting cold feet about my wedding. I'm so nervous. Or, I was going to try bungee jumping, but I got cold feet. I'm really scared of heights. Right? Idiom number 20. A sight for sore eyes. We use this expression when you're very happy to see someone or something. Like, hi Frank, you're a sight for sore eyes. I haven't seen you for years. Or, after 20 hours of driving, my girlfriend was a sight for sore eyes. Great. Expression number 21. A finger in every pie. So, to have a finger in every pie means that you're involved in many activities, often in a way that people do not approve of. For example, Peter has a finger in every pie and is never short of ideas for making the next buck. Or, Monica wouldn't be so busy and stressed if she didn't have a finger in every pie. Okay? Like, take care of your own business. Number 22. Off the top of my head. So, off the top of my head it means that you say something without really thinking about it. So, a spontaneous reaction, right? Like, off the top of my head, I'd say there were 4,000 people there. Right? It's a guess. Or, what's the capital of Brazil? I don't know off the top of my head, but I could go and look it up. Right? Number 23. Look down your nose. When you look down your nose at somebody, you think you're better or more important than them. For example, because he's rich, he seems to think that he's better than everybody. He really looks down his nose at people. Or, we look down our noses at his pair of student hits. Alright? It's a great example. So, number 24, OAS. So basically means fully listening. So, give me a minute to finish my work and then I'll be all ears to hear about your project. Or, as soon as I mentioned money, Steven was all ears. He was interested in this. So, never mind. Number 25, cry your heart out, which basically means cry very hard. So, I cried my heart out when my best friend moved away. That's so sad. Or, I cried my heart out last night after seeing the movie Field of Dreams. I guess you really cry after seeing that movie. It's fantastic, spectacular, stunning, marvelous movie. Alright? Next one. Number 26. Get something off one's chest. It can be your own chest. Okay? Basically, it means to tell someone about something that's been worrying or making you feel guilty for a long time. So, let's say, thanks for listening to my complaint about my boss. I just needed to get it off my chest. Okay? Or, I had spent 2 months worrying about it and I was glad to get it off my chest. So, number 27, heaven's head in the clouds. It basically means not to be down to earth, to be unrealistic, alright? Or being unaware, you know? For example, Simon has his head in the clouds if he thinks he's going to pass his exams without studying. Or, I have my head in the clouds if I believe I'm going to win the national lottery. That's never gonna happen. I'm not lucky enough. Alright, next one, number 28. Head over heels. Imagine head over heels? So to be deeply in love, alright? My daughter is head over heels for her new boyfriend. Or the doctor is head over heels for his secretary. So they're deeply in love, alright? Great. Now, 29, head start. That's basically an advantage that somebody has over other people in something such as a competition or maybe a race, you know? Or it could also be just an earlier start, okay? So I believe there are 2 different situations here. So let me give you the first example. You've got a head start over others trying to get the job because you've got relevant work experience. And the other interpretation of this is like the kids gave Anthony a head start in the bicycle race because he was the youngest. Okay? So 2 different interpretations. Now, idiom number 30. In over one's head. Which basically means talking on a task that you can't handle. So, I was in over my head when I agreed to babysit the triplets and the dogs. It's crazy, you know? So, another example. I think I'm in over my head with Amy. She just wants to get married. And she wants kids and a house. And I'm just not ready for any of that. Okay? That's a great example. Alright, idiom number 31. Let one's hair down. So basically that means to chill out, relax, have some fun. Okay? So, go to the cottage and let your hair down this weekend. Just chill out, just relax. Or, come on Jim, it's a party. Let your hair down and go a little wild. Right? So, idiom number 32. Neck of the woods. It basically means a nearby location or region. For example, next time you find yourself in my neck of the woods, give me a call and I show you around. Right? Or I heard that they might be opening a post office in our neck of the woods soon. Next one, number 33. An old hand, which basically means a very experienced person. So, my uncle is an old hand at car repair. He will know what the problem is. Or, I've been a bus driver for 7 years, so I'm an old hand at this, right? Excellent. So, number 34, a pat on the back. Basically, that's a recognition or a thank you, you know? Like, treating his daughter to ice cream was Joe's way of patting her on the back after she won first place in the science fair. Another example to give you, like, the only reason he stays late at work is so the boss will pat him on the back. Alright? Now, number 35, to pull one's leg. It basically means to joke or tease somebody, you know? I was just in pulling your leg, I'm not really a police officer. Or, I love pulling my sister's leg, it's almost too easy to annoy her. Alright? Great. Idiom number 36, see eye to eye, which basically means to agree. It's easy, like, his mother and I don't see eye to eye about his decision to drop out of college. So we disagree. And I'm not going to argue the point with you, Alex. We just don't see eye to eye, you know. We don't agree, we disagree. Now, idiom number 37, skin of one's teeth. Just barely. Often used to describe something that almost didn't happen. For example, I passed my exam by the skin of my teeth. Almost didn't pass. Oh man, my car wouldn't start this morning. I just made it here by the skin of my teeth. So I almost couldn't get my car fixed. Alright? Idiom number 38, sweet tooth. So that's a love of sugar or sweet things, like I need 3 spoonfuls of sugar in my tea. I have a sweet tooth. Or because we don't have much of a sweet tooth, I get more excited about main courses than desserts. Okay? Idiom number 39, thick in the head, which basically means not very intelligent. Dumb. I'm a bit thick in the head when it comes to reading a map. Right? Oh. So, thick in the head traditionally goes with strong in the arm to indicate one whose talents are more physical than mental, if you know what I mean. And now the last one, number 40, wash one's hands of something, which basically means to stop dealing with an issue or problem, you know. So, I'm washing my hands of Mary's addiction. She's going to have to get some professional help. I'm tired of trying to help her. I'm done with it. And I don't want to be part of this scheme anymore. I wash my hands of it. I'm out. Alright? So, I'm really pleased you've watched this class, and I'd like to thank you so much for being with me all this time. Now, you've probably learned a lot of new words and idioms, a lot of new vocabulary. So, I'm gonna ask you again to subscribe to my channel, click the button below and make sure you ask all your friends to join us so you can get all my tips for international certificates such as TOEFL, Cambridge and IELTS. So, see you guys, hope to see you next time. Cheers! Bye bye!